So inflation is really high right now, and I just wanted to do a video on what it means, what's the breakdown of it, and where we can potentially save a little bit of money, or where we kind of need to cut back in order to survive this kind of inflationary period, because it's really hitting everybody. I mean, every single person is feeling it, whether you're kind of rich or poor or middle class or anything. You know, it's inflation benefits nobody. That's quite a famous quote by Warren Buffett. So I picked up some figures, and I just wanted to kind of run you guys through these figures because they're really, really interesting, and it could be interesting to kind of see where you can kind of cut back and save a little bit of money. And I also realised I put on some parsnips for dinner, so I'm going to roast some parsnips, have it with some either buckwheat or couscous, maybe some peas, some sweet corn, and other veggies. But what I realised was the parsnips cost me 10 pence. They were kind of in the reduced aisle, and I've put them into roast, and that, by roasting them, it's going to cost me about £1 or £2. So those parsnips originally costing 10p have now cost me £2 and 10 pence. So there you go, there's inflation for you. And I was just trying to save money, so there we go. So inflation drives fastest fall in real pay on record. That was the headlines on BBC Business News today. And so if we scroll down, we can see what the article says, that average wages rose by 4.7%. But inflation is rising much, much faster than that. So I wanted to kind of have a look through the inflationary figures and kind of show you guys what's driving the inflation and what we can do about it. So actually, if we start at the very top, the minimum wage has gone up by 6.6%. So average wages are kind of still lagging behind that. So the minimum wage has gone up. And so those on the lowest wage will be sort of benefiting the most, whereas those on kind of higher wages are kind of not seeing any sort of increases, which is fine. You know, we should always be benefiting the kind of the kind of lower minimum wage and increasing that. So a 6.6% increase in the minimum wage, with inflation at sort of 8, 9, 10, even tipping 13%. We're seeing that, even with that minimum wage increase, so just not keeping up with inflation at all. And so what is driving that? Well, interestingly, the thing that's driving that, let's go through, I picked out a few figures here. So owners occupied housing has gone up 8.2%. Now, what does that mean? So that means that your kind of house prices, so your kind of your rent, your council tax, your energy, things like that, have gone up 8.2%. So already that's outstripping the minimum wage, and everybody feels that, The next thing is transport. Transport has gone up 15.2%. So that's sort of the public transport, anything like that. Your kind of your road tax, your anything to do with kind of repairing and servicing your cars. So that's included in that 15.2%. So that's quite a hefty increase there. And the thing that's driving most of that is actually the fuel cost. So as you will all have known, the petrol price is at the highest point it's ever been. And that's up 42% this year. So one of the main things we can really do to save money, especially now, is by kind of cutting down on sort of transport and fuels. So if you've got a car, is literally taking less journeys and really cutting down on that. And that's of course what everybody's going to be trying to do. Sometimes it's not easy to do because you need to get to work. That's just the be all and end all. But maybe there's ways that work will let you sort of work from home for a little bit. I have my own business, and a couple of our staff members, they're really feeling that pain in terms of the fuel of getting to work, because they live about 20 miles away, 25 miles away, so they have to drive 50 miles a day to get into work and back. So we've agreed to let them work from home, 1 day a week, potentially more if possible, to just sort of ease that transport cost. That would be so 1 day out of 5, so that'd be 20% they would save on that. So that'd be pretty good for them. So your work will help you out with that. The other thing that's gone up is food by 9.8%. So that's quite hefty as well. Like the minimum wage just isn't keeping up with any of this sort of stuff. And if the if the average wage has only gone up by 4.7%, was that what it was? 4.7%. Yeah. So that's just not keeping up with any of these items. So the next one is restaurant and hotels. That's gone up by 8.6%. And the one that's gone up by the least is clothing, 6.1%. So that actually, wages are kind of keeping up with clothing at 6.1% if you're talking about minimum wage. So the only thing we can buy is clothes. Great. Fantastic. But we can't eat or heat our homes. So let me know what you guys think about that. It sounds, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? Something's going to have to give here. But the main thing that's driving this is the fuel cost. So it's something that's called a supply shock when a certain product that we all consume changes in price very drastically. In this case, oil. It's mostly happens with commodities, things like oil or corn or wheat or even coffee. So my business is in coffee, and the coffee price has gone up 100%. So we're really feeling that in our business. But the oil price is one of the main things that's affecting everybody else. So, you don't need coffee, but you do need oil in your daily life. Anything you buy, anything you touch, anything you use is made with petroleum products. You're driving your car to work, you need oil. So that's one of the things going up 42.3%. That's one of those things that's really affecting us all. And that's what's really driving the inflation up. Now, the question is whether that's going to create a wee inflation spiral, because as prices go up, people expect prices to go up even more. They spend their money, and that creates a big kind of inflationary spiral. But I don't really see that happening, because if wages are kept low, that means businesses can't increase their prices that much because people just don't have the money to spend. So it all kind of depends on what the oil price does going forward, and if that kind of stays where it is around about kind of $86-87 a barrel, if that sort of comes back down, we can see a bit of ease in terms of inflation, that prices potentially sort of leveling off or even starting to reverse a little bit. But yeah, so it's super interesting to kind of see kind of where the inflation is happening. So the main ways we can save money is through transport, cutting down on transport, and fuel, and that's pretty much it, because we can't really save money on heating our homes or cooking our food, because we need to live. That's the way it is. So we can't save on that. Food, we can't save on that because we need to eat, and clothing, we cutting down on non essential expenditures is very important as well. But since I'm in the coffee business, do not cut down your coffee consumption. No, honestly, if you have to, then that's just the way it is. But it's super interesting to kind of see how it's going to go. Give me your thoughts and what you kind of feel on that, because it'd be really interesting to hear your views. But that's the current standing as it is now. I'll give further updates as we go. And yeah, I just thought I'd do that video because I realised my cooking for my parsnips has increased the cost by 2,000%. So that was a bit of I should just eat them raw. Can you do that? I don't think you can eat parsnips raw. Even boiling them is going to cost more money than the actual parsnips themselves. So might not buy parsnips in the future. There you go. Top tip from this video. Take that away with you. On that note, see you next time.